There was a man reading self-help books on the crowded subway train. And as I stared at the floor, I thought it must be nice to have that kind of mind frame. Read it cover to cover and soak up every thought, till you wake up one morning and just get to be someone you're not. When things get quiet, I feel uneasy. I need my friends, or at least just the sound of the TV, to keep these things from screaming. You're inadequate, you're a piece of shit. You can run forever, but you'll never get away with it. If people really knew who you were, they'd probably cover up the ground that you walk with spit. Don't be a stranger, mean stay away, as far away as you can. 'Cause you're unstable,
What's up? Hello, people on the interwebs. Howdy, howdy, and welcome to this very spontaneous last minute stream that I decided to do. I'm trying to stream more on YouTube as well. I've been streaming on Twitch. For those who don't know, I do the thing on Twitch every Wednesday. I do a live recording process where I record guitar and bass, as well as sometimes writing drums and recording keys. And then on Sundays, we play video games. Like this last Sunday, we were playing... What were we playing? Scott Pilgrim. I played Scott Pilgrim on YouTube, and then I played on Twitch, I believe. I think I did YouTube either last week Friday or on Saturday. But yeah, I'm going to be doing both video games and live writing stuff. Not as frequent over here on YouTube. So if the live... English. If the live stream thing is something that you enjoy, go ahead and check out Twitch. Also, I believe that sound was me getting a follower on Twitch. Yeah, so that little notification you're seeing pop up on screen, that's coming from Twitch, not YouTube. So it's just activated, and yeah. So thank you so much. If anyone's hopping over to Twitch from there, where'd my chat go? There's my chat. How's everybody doing? How's life? How's everything? How's everything going for everybody? I'm hoping pretty good. To visit. I too would love to visit Canada. I just realized my sustain pedal is not connected. It is actually underneath. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Alright, cool. I gotta connect my sustain pedal up to here. I've been to Canada once. When I was on a tour several years ago. I was underwhelmed. I mean, it was beautiful from what I saw in the van. But I mean, when you're on tour, you don't get to experience a country, so obviously don't count that. But as I was expecting, like a culture shock of some sort, and it just felt like America too, but a little better. Which, I mean, it's a Western country, like they're all the same. Exploited the rest of the world to have a unsustainable quality of life. All right. So I'm just writing some music for fun. I needed a break from doing so much ska and punk of my writing, and I was like, I should just live stream me working on just a song to work on a song. Yeah, thank y'all for so much for the Twitch follows. Unless people are just so happy to be following me on Twitch as I'm doing this stream. So I wrote this little thing before I ate dinner, and I'm gonna try to develop it into a full song. I'm gonna start out with writing out some drums for it. I have like an idea of it to be funky. Like that's the vibe I'm going for. Like very like if you've ever played. Oh Jesus! Oh my God! Please help me. Okay. If you've ever played Sonic Adventure 2, think Dry Lagoon. That's kind of the vibe that I'm going for this. Like super like. Excuse me, loungy. Let's see, where's my drum plugin? Some type of beat like that. very like ride heavy, you know, and like the beat. Obviously, I'm not like I can't do a whole drum set with my hands. So that's like the vibe that I'm gonna be going for. All right, let's start out with some hi-hat. I'm gonna use I have 2 drum plugins. I'm gonna use the Superior kit instead. Oh geez, I made a grave mistake when I did that. Let's go to the headphone. School with the frowny face. Why is such a frowny face over school? Actually, let me go ahead and move this back a little bit. Let's turn this down a little bit. Let's turn the metronome down a little bit as well, because I don't need it to be that loud right now. Jesus, please line up on the measure. Oh my goodness. Logic, you hate me. All right, let's see. Metronome settings. Check the volume. Yeah, that's a good amount. Try that again. No, that's all I need. Let's go ahead and quantize that. And this is a triplet, so let's do a 16th note triplet. All right, and I just simply cannot do that on one key, so let's move this all down to the same. Let's let me see, and I can probably put another one of these. It's not starting on the right beat there. And then that right there, I can probably oops, and put you there, and put you there. And let's go ahead and delete all of y'all. And paste you like that. 16th note grid. That's what I'm creating there. To make it go down a little more. Let's go ahead and do again right there. So and let's quantize yeah to the triplet. Let's move it back. Quantize yeah to that triplet. I hate quantizing triplets. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Hey, I found your channel recently. I love your work. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'm doing all right. I'm chilling. Do you know many other streamers on Twitch? As in, do I know them personally? Yeah. Quite a few people that I featured on covers are also on Twitch. For instance, a lot of the video game musicians that I featured, like Insane in the Rain Music, Carlos, Twitch streamer. Thank you so much, whoever just followed. I just heard the notification. Carlos, Insane in the Rain Music, and they have Pat from J Music Ensemble is also on Twitch. Max from the VGM Collective is on Twitch. Who else is on Twitch? Arby, who sang on the What Do the Lonely Do for Christmas and the 100 Gex cover. They're on Twitch as well. There's a good amount of people. I feel like there's like not a lot of musicians on Twitch. Like there's definitely a lot of musicians on Twitch, but like not like a huge amount. Not like as many like, you know, gamers are on Twitch, obviously, because that's what that platform is made for. And doing music on Twitch is oh, my friend Dom is a Dom Palomi is a I'm like second guessing if that's how you pronounce his last name. But anyway, is a dope drummer. A lot of people that I know through TikTok as well as on Twitch. So if you follow me on TikTok and you see the people I'm duetting with, almost all of them are also like doing stuff on Twitch. But Twitch is definitely a growing platform. And I'm really excited. Honestly, Twitch is like what's giving me the drive to keep doing stuff right now, is like to grow on Twitch. I'm 11 years old and I love ska. Your covers, my dad showed me your channel. Heck yeah, that's so dope. I wish my dad was showing me ska covers when I was 11. Let's go ahead and quantize, y'all. What am I gonna do with this part? Let's do something like that. Let's try swinging that. See how that comes out. Yeah. Let's do straight. I can like barely hear the drum. Let me like just crank this compressor. All right. Don't give up if it's what you love doing, my dude. See, the thing, I mean, I'm never gonna like stop making music. That's not an option for me, however, it's incredible how living in a system that forces you to commodify your art makes you hate making art. It like really sucks when you have to like, when your option is give up on your art to make time to, you know, work so you can have basic human needs met, like, you know, like food and housing, or be forced to commodify your art and have the overwhelmingness of capitalism requiring you to make money to literally exist, especially when we have the means to not let that be our reality, overpowers love for things. Like it really does. It's like people undermine how draining it is to dedicate your life to making sure you have basic human needs being met in a system that consistently robs from you. And it's really terrible. So like, yeah, like, is it something I love to do? Absolutely. I love making music, however, you know, like I've had to like make different choices. Like I didn't plan on being a YouTuber, you know, that's not what I want to do with music. I want to study composition and write for like films and stuff like that. But like all that stuff has been on the back burner for 2.5 years now because YouTube has been what's been making me money, at least the money enough to like, you know, survive. And I hate that. Like I've had to do that. And like put my true passions and like the music I really want to make on a back burner because, you know, we live in a system where you have to pay money to literally live. Like you don't have the option to like, unless you want to starve and be homeless and, you know, but that's the way it is. So like, you know, it just really sucks. Let's have some kick on those. I think I'm gonna get rid of that beat in the middle. TikTok is Scott2 Network, consistent branding on all of the things. Also, it's literally in the live, it's in the live stream thing at the bottom. All of my handles for all of my social medias are Scott2 Network. I think I'm just gonna do the 2 hits. Is this quantized, this bass line? It is not. Let's quantize it to the 16th note. Sup there. Howdy. I've been listening to jazz, ska, and old genres for a while. It's weird to see music genres that drop out of the public eye overnight. It's good to see people like you keeping ska alive. That's the key words. Drops out of the public eye. The thing about ska is when it popped off, it necessarily wasn't even the fact that the public liked ska. The public liked the very few bands that were being pushed. They even like the bands, you know, because like bands like Real Big Fish, like there's millions of people who listen to, like if you look at Spotify numbers, millions of people who are streaming Sell Out and, you know, Sell Out because it was a radio hit and it's on a bunch of playlists. But like the people who truly got into ska and are still into ska. And it's like, you know, it was basically like I cannot speak today. Like an inflation, a lot of vowels in that thing. Or you had like a big amount of people who were listening to, sorry, I needed to turn that down. It was like really loud in my headphones. You had a big amount of people who were listening to like the one song or the radio hits, and like the amount of people who were actually involved in the scene was like so much lower. So like, and I wouldn't even say it necessarily fell out overnight. It was just like a time period, the 90s, where like fads had 15 minutes of fame, and it became a fad. And for a lot of people, they just got into like the few big songs, and then they tossed it aside. Like they tossed aside every other fad they got into during the time. But like the same ska scene that bred the Boss Tones and the Toasters and Fishbone and No Doubt and like all of these bands throughout the 80s, that same scene remained relevant in their own circles after the third wave. So like, it's just that I feel like this was the scene being consistent, and then you had that one part, and then a bunch of people made this the part of like recognizing ska or ska being alive, where it's like ska was alive since the early 80s and it's been alive through 2021. So yeah, there's that. V Rose, howdy, I miss you. I love you as well. I'm 14. I found your channel through the cover of I'm Not Okay. Heck yeah, that's so dope. I'm glad people find my channel and enjoy these covers, these things that I do. Let's get back to some writing. go ahead and go into this drum because I want to use a ride, but normally I have a... Oh, okay, Logic just crashed. Oh my gosh. All right, that's like happened a million times today. Oh, that's annoying. Man, why did it crash for that? Are you kidding me? It's reopening. It froze on OBS, so y'all are just seeing like the final seconds before death. Let me make sure it's the right. Let's go ahead and move this over here. Okay, yeah, it reconnected in OBS. All right, let's see, where was I before Logic decided to? Oh yes, let's open Superior Drummer. Oh, that's what I was doing. Oh god, spinning beach ball of death. All right, we made it. I normally have a washy ride because I like washy rides for ska and punk. But I want a ride that's pingier for this. No, that's not what I want. I can rock with that. I can make it work for now. Copy all that. Hey, another Twitch follow. Thank y'all, whoever's following over on Twitch. In case y'all didn't know, every time that comes up, that's a little Twitch follow. I mean, someone's giving me the follow on Twitch, so I have a big thank you play. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna switch to the ride during that part. Thank you. Whoever that was that time probably heard me saying that and then went over into Twitch and subscribed or followed. But you can subscribe on Twitch if you want. I'm getting emotes made right now. So that's not a thing that's available because I just finally filled out my affiliate paperwork. It's an original song. I'm just writing for funsies because I needed to just take my mind off of writing ska and punk because I've been writing too much of that, and this is the type of stuff I want to grow more of. If you did not know, I studied music composition, and I was talking about this earlier on the stream, where like what I want to be doing more of is writing, stuff like this for like film and video games and stuff like that, which I have a few gigs like that right now, but not as much as I want to. Like, I want that to be my main thing, and it's like this has kind of taken a back. This type of work has kind of taken a back seat, so I could like, make a living, which really sucks because this is like what I want to do. But not saying that I like totally hate Scott2 Network or anything like that, but it's not what I like. Being a YouTuber wasn't on my agenda. I'm making covers and stuff like that, and I have like original music and so much other stuff that I want to do. So it just sucks when there's only so many hours in a day. So I like that. So let's move you up to here. Any advice for someone who is still learning an instrument? Practice with a metronome. If you are working on music in general, regardless what it is, like you're learning a bass line to a song or a guitar part or whatever it is, practice with a metronome. If you're playing along to the song and it's too fast and you're trying to get it, you're probably struggling a lot when you could just slow it down, like whatever tempo. You can even Google online metronome and just type in a number until you get to a speed that you like and work on it slowly. And that's how you build that type of consistent repetition at one tempo. Is that cowbell in the rhythm part? It is not cowbell, it's ride bell. That's what you're hearing. There's going to be cowbell in the song, don't you worry. That's coming, but not yet. I like to get the basic, like, fundamental drum beat and then like the bare bones of the song down, and then start to add things like that in. But yeah, just make sure you practice with the metronome, and I feel like that's the biggest thing that people don't do when they start that will help them way more than they know. The Final Parade, is that the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones track that dropped? Like my thoughts on that. I'm like 99% sure that's what you're talking about. Our Scott2 Network streams archived on YouTube. They are on YouTube. They just go up as a regular YouTube video, and on Twitch they are as well. I don't think Twitch ones go down, but I do record most of my things. Thoughts on the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones Final Parade. I think that song is very long, and it doesn't need to be that long. Like, I get the idea of it, is it's an epic thing. I feel like there could have been cooler ways to execute that many people being collaborated without the song dragging on for like 7 minutes, especially most of it being like exactly the same. That's like one thing. I'm like, you could have added like a whole like C-section, or if I was them, if I was gonna make a song that featured that many people, I wouldn't make a regular song. I would make that thing like a Bohemian Rhapsody type deal, where there's like movements to this ska, like something like that. That's what I would have done if I made a song that was that long. So that's my first thing about that song. Also, I just think it's just like wasn't a huge fan of it. I just think the song is not that interesting. And this week, ironically enough, I was listening to the Boss Tones' first like 4 records, and then they dropped that, and I was like, oh snap. And then I listened, and like by itself, I think I would have been like, this is fine. But after listening to like their first 4 records so much over the last week, to then hear it, And this is a take that I think a lot of old ska bands do. To me, it feels like they really lost sight of why it was special in the first place. Not necessarily saying that they forgot about it, but like it sounds like they're trying really hard to repeat a formula. You know, they're like, formulaically this should work. Formulaically, we're featuring all of these dope ska musicians of big bands. Formulaically, it sounds great. You know, it's like the person who knows music theory but can't write a song for to save their lives. That's kind of what it sounds like. It sounds like instead of just doing what they did back then, which is just writing music to write music and to enjoy it, now it sounds like with a lot of these, and this isn't just the Boss Tones, and this is like, you know, a lot of new older ska bands putting out new music. To me, it just feels like they're trying to make a typical Boss Tones song based off it. To me, it sounds like someone who was a big Mighty Mighty Boss Tones fan but didn't spend their entire life playing music, tried to rewrite a Mighty Mighty Boss Tones song, and then gave the song to the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones for the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones to then record. To me, that's what it sounds like, and that goes for a lot of like ska bands of that same tier. Doing that type of stuff. And to me, it's kind of like, I don't know, it's also like kind of really out of touch, because not only were there like so many like it seems kind of like almost like Cool Guy Club almost, like these are like the bands that like matter, like obviously like whatever, because like there's so many bands, like why wasn't Mustard Plug asked to be on it, like Five Iron Frenzy, like there's so many bands of that era that they didn't leave out. And to me, it feels like they just chose the biggest of the big, and if you did not meet that like deadline of being big, because like Mustard Plug, they like took time back and they like aren't as big as they used to be, and like why weren't like they're active, that's the thing, why weren't they asked to be on it? To me, that's a little weird. And then like the Interrupters are on it as well, so like it's not, I don't think it's like an age thing, I think it's just a how big you are thing of why they chose the people they chose to be on there. You know, it's not like, to me it'd be one thing, it feels like these are the homies we used to tour with all the time, but like the Interrupters, to have for Amy to have the biggest feature on that song, like are you like, I don't know, to me it just seems like, it seems like they saw Ska Against Racism pop off, because a lot of those bands were like also involved with that, and then they were like, wait a minute, this is doing really well. It's probably doing really well because there's a lot of ska bands working together. So let's do the same thing. And then they tried the same thing and it didn't pop off the same, because what they failed to realize, it's the hard work of Bad Time Records and all of the new bands who pushed the Ska Against racism that made it pop off as hard as it did. That, and also being the fact that like it had a genuine, cause and raised, money for like something that's super dope, and like the bands that were involved truly, most of them truly believed in what is being raised for that cause. So I feel like that's like, to me that's what it feels like, at least, but that's just my take. I could be wrong on completely all of that, but it's also like, to me it's pretty like, I don't know, that's all the take I have to say with it. I mean, like, it's fine, it's out there, it's whatever. Another big part of being a musician, especially one who's like playing in this genre and just in like music that's older in general, is I feel like, you're never like, people who revive a genre and make something popular or whatever you want to call it, they're never going to be like people who are middle-aged, they're never going to be old people. The music industry is completely like run by younger folk, or at least people who are hip and in tune to stuff. So like, I feel like the biggest mistake ska bands made for the longest time is trying to appeal to these 90s fans in like the year 2005 and the year 2010 and 2015 and 2021. So many ska bands are trying to reel in the 90s fans. It's like they're never gonna care about you, like, and y'all spent so much time ignoring the youth, your generations, to care for that. And like obviously, like even like We're the Union, the band I play in now, like even they admit it, like We're the Union, Kill Lincoln, like all these Bad Time Records bands, they admit it. For the longest time they were trying so hard to appeal to like the 90s ska fans, and doing so in the process they kind of like not necessarily alienated like younger fans, like millennials, but like, they're trying to make music that sounds like it's from the 90s, and then you have like a whole new generation of like millennials who like are not relating to this music and therefore do not care. And I think that's like why Bad Time Records is starting to do really well now, is because like the music is timeless, it's very relatable to like what millennials and like Gen Z is feeling. So like people hear those bands and it's like, no, like for the first time you're seeing people go, wow, I hated ska and then I found Bad Time Records, and like the bands you suggest are dope and like I dig it. And I'm like, yeah, it's because we finally have bands who are like resonating on what, people of now can relate to. Like no one wants to hear a joke song like in the 90s like that anymore. And if you're gonna make a joke song, make it like a meme, not like a really bad fucking like my girlfriend left me, she's gay now type joke like Real Big Fish did. Are there any other bands you felt kept the messages like they started with, like the like punk and unity? Um, I mean, yeah. I mean, I feel like the Aquabats definitely have a big part of that. I mean, I'm not saying I don't think those bands necessarily are like actively like we're gonna not have unity, like obviously, but it just seems like as they grew older, they just grew out of touch with like the music scene. Like bands like Grew Big Fish, all they did was tour. Like Aaron's not even on social media because he just was touring all the time. So like, I mean, it's natural. Bands grow older, and then new bands come up, and they move on out, and then new bands kind of take over and do their thing. The problem with ska is the ska scene is so hung up on the same bands. As those bands grow older, the new bands never get the support when they come up. It's not like pop punk where like you had the Story So Far in 2013. You had like the Wonder Years in 2010. You had like Knuckle Puck a few years ago. You had like Belmont. Like there's like it seems like in pop punk and in emo and in hardcore and all these other scenes, every 3 years is like a new batch of bands that come up. And in ska, it's like you get those batches, but then no one supports them, so they just break up. Like they just break up as soon as they hit that point. Like Chase Long Beach broke up, New Riot broke up. Like Fatter Than Albert broke up, Stuck Lucky broke up, even though they're like together again. But like still, it's like we had so many chances, and that's why I'm like I refuse to let this new batch of Bad Time Records bands suffer the same fate, because our scene refuses to acknowledge the new bands that keep coming forward while begging for a fourth wave. Like, you're not going to get a fourth wave by waiting around. You have to support the bands. That's how the third wave started. It's because it was 14 years of bands touring in America that caused that to happen. It didn't happen overnight. You're my biggest inspiration. Hope you keep doing what you do. Thank you so much. Me too. It's like all the pop punk guys were, nah, I'm just gonna listen to the Menzingers. I feel like more on par with like if they were like, nah, nothing new came out after Blink 182. Like imagine if that's the statement it was, because all the ska fans literally will not listen to any bands that came out after Blink 182 formed. It's like imagine if pop punk was like that. It sounds kind of ridiculous, but that's how it is in ska when you have so many ska bands coming forward and people are saying the genre is dead. People in the genre are saying it's dead, ignoring their own scene. I have to go to bed. Go forth and conquer. Thank you so much. Have a good night. Let's do two little. Let's do something like that. Let's go like a boom boom da da doom. You know what I'm saying? I think y'all know what I'm saying. Except for let's not rush it. Let's do an eighth note triplet. Oh no, what is this? Oh no, they're 16th notes. Wow, I'm a dummy. I think emo went through something similar before the revival. Yeah, emo did have like a little phase. But there were also a lot of emo bands. Like I find all the time, I find a lot of emo bands that were doing the thing. Also, well, yeah. I mean, there were definitely bands doing the thing that were like under recognized. And then the revival happened. But since the revival, whatever you want to call it, I feel like emo's been pretty consistent. Like right now, Counterintuitive Records is like one of the main labels putting out bangers, and then like Top Shelf Records is doing that in the early decade. But I can't think of a label from like, I guess Polyvinyl was around in the 2000s, and Asian Man Records. They kind of switched more to like the indie emo sound during that time. I'm one of the younger people, 20, and I would be so hyped to see new bands. I love going to a bar and having a sick ska after COVID clears up. Such a good time. Yeah, I mean, it's been happening. Like, Ska 2 Network and We're the Union. We were playing like, We're the Union was doing weekenders in 2019 and early 2020, in 2018 even, and we were selling out our shows and stuff like that. We were playing like in all the cities. Kill Lincoln was doing a bunch. One of the last shows I believe they played was right before the pandemic, and they sold out their hometown in DC at like a 500 cap venue. Like, the shows are happening, and like we're always talking about it. I'm glad that the Ska 2 Network platform has grown so much, and people are like now aware I personally can't get too much into new ska punk. I mean, I feel like not everyone's going to get into it, and that's totally fine. But I don't know. I personally like, if it wasn't for the new wave of ska punk bands, I just wouldn't have not been into ska. Like, if Community Records didn't exist, and if Bad Time Records bands, like, even though Bad Time Records formed like 2 years ago, but like those bands like Kill Lincoln, and like We Are the Union before I joined, if like bands like that didn't exist, ska would have literally not been a thing. I would have listened to it in high school and then stopped listening and never got back into it, or just like only listen to like the Ska Lights and like older stuff. That's just also me personally. So like obviously like everyone's not gonna listen to like the same thing, and that's not what I'm expecting. But it's just like the ratios are way too off for me. Like, how is there like not that many people listening to like a band like Kill Lincoln, but then like Real Big Fish is hitting almost 900,000 monthly listeners on Spotify? Like, it's like I firmly believe at least 5% of that number, which is like what 5% of a million is, I can't do math. What's 10% of a million? 100,000, 50,000. So what? Like, let's say 30,000 people. I feel like that's a pretty decent number that should be like, listening to that band, considering that there's not a lot of overlap between Kill Lincoln and Rubik Fish analytically. Like, that's my thing. And same thing with like bands like Less Than Jake, the Boss Tones. Like, the Boss Tones have like over 1 million monthly listeners. There's so many people that listen to ska, but so the amount of people who are listening to newer bands is so low. And I'm like, to me that just seems more of like they just don't know, rather than like that many people are not getting into it. Community Records is so dope and diverse. Community Records is so dope. Did my high school thesis paper on the history of ska in 2008. You brought me back to the good old days. Heck yeah. I never heard of Kill Lincoln until you mentioning it now. So just now, so I would agree. Yeah, and that's like the wild part, and that's like the thing where like I feel like a big part of the reason why you never hear about these bands is simply because like, and this is something I used to be really frustrated with. Where like back when I was in high school, like 2010, 2011, 2012, I would get onto the ska Reddit. I would go onto ska groups in Facebook. And it's like, yo, how many times does someone need to post Beer, like Rubik Fish's song Beer, or Superman by Goldfinger? Like I'm trying to find new music, and like I make a thread of like, give me some new bands to check out, and people are like, check out this underground band. You might not have heard of them, Operation Ivy. Like not enough people talk about them. Everybody talks about Operation Ivy. Can we please actually talk about bands that like people really aren't talking about, that are doing cool things? And like ska is so like, like it just feels like people just want to talk about the same things over and over again, and like it's like it's like it's just getting drowned out. And then like right now in the ska Reddit, like whenever I post about a new band, people downvote me. Like, why is this Reddit so salty about new music? Like, you're downvoting me so people can't even see my stuff. And literally I'm just saying, here are some new bands doing cool things, like responding to people's questions. So like, it's literally like, y'all are killing this genre, and then you keep asking why it's dead. Like, yes, they definitely do that. Now, they don't talk about like, like if you're gonna talk about Kamen Rider, all right, because Classics of Love, the record, I'm not like super into Classics of Love, the band. I'm like the only person who likes Kamen Rider more. But the record, was the record even called Classics of Love? I want to say it is. Kamen Rider. Let's see. Oh, Last Wave Rockers. But this first song is called Classics of Love. The song Classics of Love is like my favorite song that he's ever been a part of. But yeah, the record Last Wave Rockers is so good. Such a good record. Oh my goodness. That record sounds like it was recorded and written in like the late 2000s, and I feel like they were so ahead of their time. It just didn't hit because they were so ahead of their time. But people don't talk about that, and I'm like, y'all could be talking about, there's even like older ska that people could be talking so much more about that slap so hard, and they just don't. But I mean, a big part of it is nostalgia. People are not even like that obsessed with the music for any other reason but nostalgia, and that's like straight up just a fact, you know. Like it's and like that goes for anything, not just ska. Like when your brain's doing chemical things when you're in your teenage years, so like any music that you listen to in those teenage years you become obsessed with for the rest of your life, mainly because your brain is trying to remember what it feels like to produce that much dopamine for the first time, and you literally cannot physically experience that like ever in your life, but you can listen to music and consume art that you listen to during that time. So that's why people get really really obsessed with that, with music that they listen to in high school, and sometimes that's like what causes nostalgia. um and sometimes people, you know, like it's cool obviously. Like I mean, this week I listened to a bunch of Boss Tones and Less Than Jake, so I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I never listen to old stuff. But people let that stuff get into like cloud their judgment, and you know, it's like they're listening to a song because they're trying to fill a nostalgia factor, not because that they want to listen to new music, and then they don't like it because it's not making them nostalgic the way that old ska bands do, and then they write it off, or old music in general, because that's how a lot of people are about music. So it's like, is it even because of like, is it even like people turning this off because it's not good or they don't like it, or is it just because it's not making them nostalgic the way that like the music that they know does? And like, to me, that's on the same par of like ordering the same thing and going to the same restaurant all the time, when you could literally like try so much food in the world. I'm a firm believer that you'll never have your favorite thing for the rest of your life. You'll never have your favorite food. You'll never listen to your favorite song. You'll never have a favorite band, because there's always going to be something better out there. Even when you think you found the best thing, there will always be something better out there. And when you sit there and you tell yourself, nothing will be better than this one thing that I know, you know, like you're already setting yourself up for defeat. You're already setting yourself up for a boring life. That's like peaking in high school, you know, when you're like, my life's downhill from here. It's like, really? Because I just begun, and I'm going to keep finding dope music. Dope music is going to keep being created. Dope art is going to keep being created. And like, that's like the type of mentality that I like to have. I'm not about being part of this whole like, nothing I will find will ever be good. Like, even if something's different, like, just because something's different doesn't mean it's not good. Like, I listen to so much music that like, and I'm not necessarily gonna say it's my favorite, but like, it's like I love it because it's just a different vibe. Like sometimes I just want to like vibe to something different, and that's totally okay. It's not filling my itch for, you know, the nostalgic ska that I'm for, but like music doesn't have to do that. It doesn't have to be nostalgic for a certain time. It doesn't. That's like the question I hate is like, I really like Streetlight Manifesto. What band should I listen to? And it's like, I'm not gonna suggest. I don't even suggest music to answers like that anymore, or to questions like that anymore, because like, if you're going into a band with this mentality of like, I need something that sounds exactly like this, then I'm like, you're already gonna hate everything you listen to, and I just don't want to waste the time suggesting music to you. Like obviously there's like guide and stuff like that. Like if someone's like, hey, I'm a big fan of like this, like, you know, like more jazz, what should I listen to? I'll probably say New York Ska Jazz Ensemble, or the Scatolites, or Tokyo Ska Paradise Orchestra. But a lot of the times, like, and that's typically more for people who've never listened to ska or anything like that, but most of the time it's like people just want to fill their nostalgia, and they ask for bands that'll fill that nostalgia, rather than asking for something completely new. And I'm like, I'm here to give someone a brand new experience, you know? Like, if you want to listen to the same records, just listen to the same records and stop asking for new music. Like, I love this channel. Oh, message retracted. I meant to respond to that, whatever that was, and I forgot to. I thought Red Hot Chili Peppers was going to be my favorite band of all time, and then I heard folk rock. Yeah, I mean, when I was in high school, I swore that Less Than Jake was going to be my favorite band of all time. And then in 11th grade, I found We Are the Union, and then they became my favorite band of all time. And now I have like 10 favorite bands of all time, because I don't have favorite bands or favorite music. New bands like Knocked Loose new bands that make you feel nostalgic are the best though. Like Knocked Loose is definitely one for me. Oh yeah, and that's like another thing. It's like, another thing is like, there's so many bands creating these sounds that you've never, that you've heard or whatever. Like for instance, like if the Specials make you nostalgic, you'll probably love Bad Operation, you know, like, and that's like a thing I love about all of the new ska bands right now, especially like just on Bad Time Records alone. There's such a diverse catalog of sounds. It's like, you like traditional ska more, you like the roots reggae and dub, Bad Operation. You like the two-tone, kind of more danceable ska, less on the punk side, Catbite. You like ska core, the best of the worst. You like more ska, like with the pop punk vibe, check out Kill Lincoln. Like, there's like literally a range for everybody. Like, you might not like everything on that record label, but I feel like you are willingly trying to dislike music if you can listen to every band on that label and say they're all not good. Like, if you think that they're all not like, none of them have anything to offer for you, because it's just too diverse of us, and the label only keeps growing and adding more unique bands to their arsenal that all consistently just rip it. Laura Atkin is the godfather of ska. Yep. And Trojan Records, heck yeah, I listen to Trojan Records shit since high school. I like listen to it. Whenever I listen to it, I'm like, dang, I forgot how much of this I listened to back in the day in high school. Have you listened to the recent Less Than Jake stuff? Yeah, it's the similar. If you were on the stream when I was talking about the what's it called? What's it called? The Mighty Mighty Boss Tone song. It just sounds like the thing that I loved about Less Than Jake is when I was in high school, is that they had this like super like 90s punk rock like energy to them, and like their songs were super catchy. Like they mastered like in my opinion, like the 90s hook writing thing, and like they had such an incredible sound, and like did things like uniquely. And now I feel like when I listen to that record, much like their last 3 releases, I feel this way about 2. It just sounds like someone who was a big Less Than Jake fan wrote a Less Than Jake record and then gave it to them, and then they recorded it. Like it doesn't sound like, I don't hear the Descendants influence, because I know Roger loves the Descendants. Like I know Vinny loved like that sound too. It's like I don't hear the influence from like I don't hear the influences from like like the Asian Man Records bands, because they were like early on like part of that scene too. Like it just sounds like someone described Less Than Jake and then they wrote a record. Like it sounds like I don't know. It's like I want what's it called? All of the cool unique stuff, and it sounds so like stock. That's a good word I'm looking for, stock. And it's like, I don't know. I'm just like not a fan. It's like very like the same thing with like Goldfinger's new Goldfinger, I think, is the band that did the best job with their new music for sure. But even that, it's like, and at the end of the day too, it's like, I don't know, like it doesn't hit hard for me to hear like a band like Goldfinger write all these songs about how cool it is to live in California and your $1 million mansion, like stuff like that. But hearing Bad Operation be like, eat the rich, feed the kids. Now that's what I'm here for, hearing Kill Lincoln, like, I can't complain about a president who doesn't give a shit, things like that. It's like lines that actually like hit to like a generation that's like feeling these things. That's why like I'm super into like these bands. That, and like these bands actually practice what they preach. And as far as like doing things like during the month of June last year, when like this whole country was on fire. I mean, this country's been on fire for years, but like when the whole like Black Lives Matter thing was popping off, and it was kind of like really annoying to see a whole genre that's based around unity not take a stance and address these things. Like, and I kind of, when I knew it was kind of a big thing and was kind of really whack that people weren't talking about it, was the first thing that happened, like literally the first day, like the whole like George Floyd Black Lives Matter thing popped off. Kill Lincoln had texted me and was like, we're supposed to drop our single next week, but we don't want to detract from everything that's going on. Do you think we should push it back like a month? And I was like, yeah, that sounds good. I mean, I agree with that. I appreciate you asking, but like, yeah, go for it. And so they did that. And then the next day, Fat Mike is like the only band on earth promoting his new music, like during this time, and like taking up that real estate on social media. To me, it's just things like that. Like, I know Fat Mike's more in the punk world than the ska world, but like, it's like, how are you so tone deaf? Like, how are you not realizing that now's not the time to be doing that on social media? And like, meanwhile, like the TikTok jazz community as a whole was like, we're gonna like let our black creators have this point of like this voice. And then oh my god, Catbite literally was like, their story every day was like they were going out to protest. I mean, they were not on their story, they were like texting me that, but they were like going out to protest, donating all this money. It's like, why are the ska bands with no money donating the most money and like doing what they can the most. And like to this day, they still share this information and talk about it. It wasn't like a quick fad, you know, like as the hype died down in a lot of circles, the Bad Time Records family continued to push that stuff. And to me, that's like they practice what they preach, and it's very important to them. You know, they really care about that stuff. But like then the bands whose members or net worths are in the millions are not saying much or doing much, but they're capitalizing off of a music that's built off of anti-racism and like a whole anti-racist movement. Sounds like you're financially exploiting it to me, but that's just me. Like not everyone, you're not obligated to do that, but you know, to me it just shows your true colors of how you feel about that, and how you think it's like not your business when you're directly in being, what's it called, you're directly benefiting off of a system that this exact movement is trying to fight against, that you're staying quiet about. So like, sorry for the little rant as I was doing this drum mix. We're gonna add some bass because we already have the bass. I have like this Rickenbacker like plugin, and I want to try it out. That's not the sound. I feel like if I was doing some like indie stuff, that'd be cooler. Let's see if I can mess around with this. A mansion in California is more like 3 million and up. 1 million only buys you a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom. Yeah, but it also depends on when you bought as well. If I'm assuming anyone who's older now was buying a house, especially who made all that money in music in the 90s, I'm assuming they bought their homes in like the 2000s. Some of them don't even live in California too. That's another thing people fail to realize. A lot of those musicians do not live in California, despite saying they're based out of California. Because why would you spend that much money living in California when you could just not live in California? It's cheaper for you to just fly out to California when you need to, which is what I do. Because why am I going to spend that much money to live in California? Unless you directly work in California like every day. This is actually a pretty good sounding bass plugin. What is that bass lick? It's a lick that I wrote. It's probably reminiscent of something. I feel like everything's been done already. What program do I use? So this is Logic Pro, but the plugins are through Contact, Native Instruments. And Contact is like a program that you can get to load plugins. Like if you buy any Native Instruments plugins, you get Contact. And then I have a bunch of plugins because I have a bunch of plugins. Definitely not cheap, or if you're into I'm not into cracking plugins, especially because like I make money off this stuff, and cracks just cause more problems than help. So that's not something that I advise, but if you want to do that, I can't stop you. Like, I never use this because I just play bass, but I want to try it, and I might still record bass and just layer it, but we'll see. Okay, there we go. Kind of like that one. Nah. Oh, we already went through that one. No. 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 Nope. 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 go back up to the top. Is there a way to like... Alright, let's try this. It's in Wikipedia punk. It's in a Wikipedia about punk bands not selling out. I forgot I did that. I did that little thing. Let's punch in that little. And then what I'm gonna do here is I'm just gonna copy and paste this because it's already done. It's already in the octave that I needed it. This saved me a lot of time. Oh, it's an octave too low. Do the same thing. Let's go back to my plugin and let's go to the Sounds of Cuba plugin and melodic instruments and bass. Alright, a little too much reverb on that, so. Oh, that's different. Let's just go ahead and copy the bass to the upright bass track because it's all going to be the same. High notes will be covered. This is just the bass line. It's gonna be. I'm trying not to make. My problem is I always try to make things way too busy too early on, which leaves no room for anything else when I'm writing. So that's what I'm trying not to do. there anything that you would think would be impossible to do a ska cover of? It's kind of hard to do ska covers of things that don't really have like chords, in general. Which is not. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's definitely harder to like to pull that off. But I feel like anything's possible at some point. Depends on how far you want to be removed from the original cover too. If you want to keep it really close to the original, then that's a different question from if you want to like just take the chords and do your own thing, which I've done before as well. So how do you avoid subconsciously stealing licks from other songs? You know, I've tried writing a song and I accidentally quoted 3 different songs without realizing it. I simply just don't care. I was taught a thing in music school when I went. Good composers are inspired by others. Great composers rip others off or steal from others. It's something that's literally practiced all the time. Don't believe me? Go listen to Gustav Holst's Mars from the Planets, and then go listen to the entire Star Wars soundtrack, and you will learn that John Williams necessarily isn't innovative. You know, is not necessarily like an innovative composer. He's an incredible composer because it's not easy to steal, you know, music either. People think it's really easy to just copy it. It's like, no, there's a lot that goes into it, and you can even know exactly what a composer is doing and still not be able to pull it off. So he has credibility in his own right, but everything he did for Star Wars was not original. He ripped it off from like, and Gustav Holst isn't the only composer, but like there are definitely other composers, but that's a big one. Like when you listen to Mars from the Planets, he even like admitted, he's like, I made the planets like that suite one of my biggest inspirations because the Planets was written about the planets, you know, space, and like the mythology behind space. So like, and the planets and stuff. So of course, when you're writing the soundtrack to a movie that takes place in space, that's a good inspiration to go from. So it's only like in like punk in like the world where I feel like people are really make a big deal about that stuff. You know, like in jazz, if you're like playing like a solo in jazz and you go, you know, people are like, ooh, you just played the lick. That's super dope. Or if you're just like shredding a solo and you add like a little, let me see. I can't solo. And then you add like a little, you know, people be like, ooh, you just quoted a little Yardbird suite in there. That's super dope. But then like in the world of punk, it's like you do something wrong and everyone's like, or you copy something or something even like doesn't even like remotely sound the same. Something sounds kind of similar. Or like to me, 90% of the time people are making reaches on that type of stuff of what sounds similar. Like there's a lot of things you could be calling me out for, but like, you know, sometimes people are just really trying to make something connect. And I'm like, at the end of the day, I feel like punks are just dumb. And like, it doesn't matter. And like, whatever. Like, I just don't care. Eventually you learn how to build your own voice into what are you inspired by. Yes, that is also very true. The more you write, the more you start to figure stuff out and like, or have your own thing. But I feel like I'm trying to like learn new things and like I take what sticks and what doesn't stick doesn't, you know, as far as my compositional techniques. That's another cool thing about music that I like really love, and I feel like relating back to the ska conversation, I feel like a lot of bands are failing at right now in ska, which is why ska can get really like repetitive or like not interesting a lot of the times. Is like back in the day, what the things that made original Jamaican ska artists special, like the Scatalites and Toots and the Maytals and all of those cats special, is that they weren't, they didn't have a book that was like how to make ska, like they listened to calypso, they listened to Minto, they listened to a bunch of music that they knew, they listened to American rock and rolls and rock and roll and jazz and like all of these genres, and they loved it, and those influences from all those worlds came together to create ska, and then going into like the two-tone thing, like they had the original Jamaican ska, but then there was also like that proto-punk thing that was happening in the UK, and there was like the new wave sound and all of these popular musics from the UK in the 70s that came together to create that two-tone sound. And then in America, the same thing. They knew about the original ska and two-tone, but then there was also like like American pop punk, American hardcore, like all of the other popular musics from the time, and all of that came together to create its own dope sound. And that's why all of those bands popped off, because they mixed together their own influences rather than trying to sound like something. And I feel like that's something that's lost in like ska, and I feel like part of that is because of that culture of like copying bad, like doing this thing bad, or trying to meet the formula. It's like, just do what you like, mix stuff in. If you want to be weird and mix emo with ska, mix emo with ska. No one's going to stop you. If someone tries to stop you, they're not relevant, Like if someone wants to gatekeep you for doing literally anything different with the genre, odds are they're gatekeeping that genre. The only gate they're keeping is the cemetery, because they've already killed that goddamn genre, Like, or whatever. So like, don't be a part of whatever scenes that they're in. See if I can. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do another inversion of that chord. Let's add a little 9 in there. Let's see, what chord am I even playing? Let's add a 9 in, yeah. That's a very snarky puppy chord. Stacked. Aha. What was the first chord I was playing? Let's try that. Dun, dun. Just creating for fun. Something I've been meaning to do is just make more music that's not ska and to add to my portfolio. People are like asking me to do like write music for their films and stuff, but people don't know that like I actually studied music composition, and like this is something that I do, and I'm good at composing music of other genres. So I need to start like getting that stuff out there. So let's figure out what chords I'm gonna play here. Do I compose in Sibelius or Finale? Not really. Why would I? You know, like that stuff's kind of pointless unless you are writing music out for other people to play. And even if I was doing that, I would just write it in Logic first, because if other people are going to play it, they're going to have to record it and send it back to me anyway, and then I'm going to have to put it together into a produced song. Like that's the thing about composition. I feel like this is something that I fell into for years, and had I known this is not how the world of composition works, I would have never wasted so much time trying to learn how to compose things that sound good in those programs. Is that when you work on a show or a movie or something like that and they're paying you to make the music, you don't compose it and then that's it. You know, like you don't have the notes written out. Like they want you to deliver the music produced, ready to be put into the movie. And you can't do that in Finale. You can't do that in Sibelius. And even if you do, because I used to write in Finale and Sibelius, and I would import what I wrote into Logic to produce it, and it just sounded terrible. And I'm like, it sounds so robotic. There's no humanity to it. Sometimes the MIDI doesn't transfer over well. So I was like, I'm just gonna write everything in Logic, and like that's literally how like the entire industry operates. So I really don't like. And if I need to like write something out for somebody, I just write it out in MuseScore and then send it to them and make sure the measures line up. What chord was that? Was that a... I don't remember what chord that was. Oh, okay. It was the I very clearly do not know my chromatic scale on piano. Let's turn that velocity down a little bit. Good points. If need be, Logic can output sheet music to some capacity, can't it? It can, but it's so ugly and doesn't make any sense. Like, there's just certain rule of thumb things about composing that Logic just doesn't do. And sometimes things will just not be as I wrote it. Like, let's see if it does this right. So this is a eighth note. What's it called? Eighth note, and then 16ths. So if you open that into the score mode, it actually reads as eighth notes and 16ths. But sometimes it does really weird things. Let's see if there's any examples in here. This is pretty good right now, but I'm also not playing anything crazy right now. So like, yeah, nothing's crazy happening right now in the music. But sometimes there's just some weird moments where like random rhythm things that don't make sense. Let's see if I can find any good ones. Sometimes, most of the time, you see it in the drums where it's like, why did you even like when it's quantized, it's like, why is the drum rhythm written like that? I feel like this song is so straightforward so far because there's not much going on where you're not seeing a lot of that. Like it'll just have like weird things, like it'll tie together like 5 eighth note triplets for no reason instead of just making it a whole note, you know, like things like that are really weird. And like I've exported to people before and they're like, what the fuck is this? And I'm like, okay, I'll just like, even like exporting it into MuseScore and cleaning it up sometimes takes longer than me just writing it out from scratch. I could see it getting really odd on the note length, especially. Yes, that's a big thing, is where the notes end, honestly, mess it up. But I was pretty clean about writing this one out from the get-go. A lot of that was like, I made it really clean, and when I was polishing it as I was writing out the bass line. So, like, it's pretty good. Same with the drums. The drums are pretty good. But yeah, sometimes it's just really weird. So that's where it's looping. So I got this cool new plugin. I think I'm gonna mess around with it a little bit now. Now that I have like a little rhythm section going on. It's like, I got a sponsored ad, and it's like, I never buy plugins through sponsored ads, but this one was something I've been thinking about for a while. It's called High Score. I don't know if anyone's seen it or if it's just my data stuff, but it's an 8-bit plugin through Contact. And you can do so much with it. It's pretty sick. I feel like to get cool things, you really have to mess with it, because it is a synth at the end of the day. You're building up synth stuff. But oh my god, please let me select. All right. Like, it has every 8-bit sound you could possibly think of. All right. I like that. Are you secretly on a Monoguchi? That's so funny. Oh yeah, that's a vibe. What other sounds do I have to mess with? Let's mess with some of the pads. I feel like I want a pad sound. These are all leads that I'm on right now. Let's see. Chords and intervals. Ooh, that seems interesting. Okay. Okay. right, so this is definitely not what I was looking for. Let's see. Is there not a pads folder? Oh, there's arpeggios though. Maybe I can mess with these. Is there a way to like? Oh, let me try the. No. No. Huh. Interesting. All right. I just got this. I'm trying to see how it works. Like changing the delay doesn't really. Oh. Is this it? No. How do I change the? It's like none of these knobs are working. Oh, I think it's because it's an arpeggiator. That might be why. The beauties of what's tape echoes? Oh. Yeah, it's literally a plugin that's just like 8-bit and 16-bit stuff. So it's quite literally that. just messing around right now. I'm trying to write some more music that's not just Scott. I like that lead. Let's mess around with that motif. Actually, I'm gonna start that a little later. Let's do that. Mess with that same rhythm. Yeah. Let's double that up on the lower octave. Go ahead and paste. This thing's very sensitive. That velocity curve. That's not the right note. Oh, where is it? Gotta go keep up the great work and have a good one. Thanks so much. Misspelled that. P-H-O-E P-H-O-O. Yeah, there's no N there. Alright, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna start color coding this before I get really deep into this project and get really confused over everything. Assign track color. Oh, here it is down here. Let's make you blue because the plugin I'm using is blue. Assign track color. Yeah, there we go. All right. Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and leave everything else green for now, but at least these 8-bit sounds, I feel like I'm gonna use quite a bit of them. Oh my God, please, God help me. All right, there we go. feel like there's something you have to flip. Or maybe total random, why not? Yeah, it's not. Am I like even selecting the right track right now? Yeah, no, the right track is selected. It's like none of the synth things are doing the thing they're supposed to. Oh, okay. Alright, so that one's doing it now. Randomly. I messed that up. Let me fix this one up. No, let me fix this one up now. Phoenix piano. Why is it doing that? Let's pick a new random. Pitch, EG, effects. Oh, that's just the delay. Oh, that's pretty dope. All right, well, I learned something new about this. All right, so it's just an arpeggiator. Hey, a new follow over on Twitch. Thank you so much. If that was someone from this stream that just found out that I Twitch stream, thank you so much. Yeah, another follow. Stop you through 1039. Thank you so much. And yet another follow. Thank you so much. All right, why am I not? Why is this not working? Oh man, I want to figure this out. Oh. There we go. And another follow. Thank you so much. Alright, so that decay's a little too powerful. So let's... I forgot which one of them I was moving. There it is. Or the release. Yeah, so let's try this out. I feel like that glide is a little... That sounds like a good amount of glide. A little good amount of glide action. All right, let's... to mess with this velocity curve? I feel like the velocity curve is way too... Let's see. Nope, I guess I have to hit the keyboard really hard now, just all the time. All right, let's try that again. That sounded good though. I like that. Yeah, let's try that. Just fix the velocities after recording. Yeah, I can do that, but sometimes like this, well, at least with this plugin, what I'm noticing is like, it's just a little weird. Like the slightest amount might change how I want to play it, you know, like I need to hear it exactly as is. I don't want to quantize this lead. And I feel like if the velocity was right, I will have to do that a lot less trial and error before because if I fix it and it sounds too different from what I thought it would sound like, then I'm like, it's a new plugin. If I had this plugin for a while and I knew its quirks would be good, that's just not something I want to do right now. Or if it's a lead from another instrument and I want to transfer it over, that's also a good thing to know, because sometimes it'll sound good on one instrument, but the way it reads velocity will read differently on another plugin. So like that's always an issue. Like that glide I want to. The glide's happening too early. Love your vibes and your music always makes my day. Anyone can make a ska cover of a ska song is a legend. I've never covered a ska. Well, that's a lie. Jesus is a friend of mine is a ska song, and what's the other ska song that I covered? I did two. I mean ska adjacent, but the 100 Gex song. What's it called? Just hopped into the synth party 2021. Flying Raccoon Suit in the chat. What's up? Howdy. How's y'all's Kickstarter going? If y'all did not know, Flying Raccoon Suit, it's a dope band who's doing a Kickstarter right now for the new record, and I believe they raised half of the funds that they were trying to raise in the first. Sounds like something just fell, but I can't tell. Sounds like they. I think y'all raised like half of your funds in the first day, which is dope. I don't know if y'all saw, but I pledged the $50 tier. Money's kind of weird right now, but I want to support y'all, so I hope y'all reach your goal. I mean, like, if you're not, I'm gonna keep pushing y'all. So let's just re-record that. Something about it is like not sitting right with me. Let's start on over. I could do that again. Excited to see that. Almost funded, new single out today. Is this for the short film? No, this is not for that. This is just something I'm doing for fun. I recently found I'm just gonna do 8-bit lead because this sound doesn't have a. Recently found this plugin. It was a sponsored ad to me on Facebook, and you know they're getting better because I'm starting to spend money on sponsored ads through Facebook, which is something I never did before. But they're sponsoring things that I've wanted for a while, and like a good 8-bit plugin where like you just get the 8-bit sounds without the trouble of having to like hack into a Game Boy or whatever. So this plugin's really dope. It has so many different sounds, and you can build and mix and match different synth like waves to create, you know, just incredible sounds based off of the classic NES and arcade game stuff. So I used to have N64 plugin, or not a plugin, but N64 sounds, and I wonder if anyone's made that into a plugin because it's very easy to get those sounds, but I think because of legal reasons you just can't sell it, you know. I wonder if anyone's ever made like an open source plugin. That's worth digging. But I used to have like all the Legend of Zelda sounds and all of the Kirby 64 sounds, and I used to use them in my music a bunch, and I miss having that element of like the video game sounds mixed in with like the regular like contact MIDI stuff. So I mean, to me it's definitely elevated this a bit. I want to add another lead, but maybe not on this 8-bit plugin. Let's mess around with some of the contact stuff I have. Let's try. Oh, how about this? Not that. Where's my? Oh no, here they are. Okay, I was like, oh no, did they never install? Wait, where's my percussion one? Here it is. All right. Metal. Would it be metal? No, it'd be tuned percussion. Let's do vibraphone. All right. Oh my God. Sorry, doing a little EQing on this. All right. Oh, the 8-bit with the vibraphone is a move. Let's just do the octave for that though. Thank you. I was just messing around with that bass line. I wanted to do something with it. The chord that I played there, I believe it was no. So let's go. What's this plugin called? It's called High Score. Let me see if I still have it, where I can just like type it in the chat, or if I have like the link to it, or if it's still open. I bought it yesterday and I have like a million tabs open. No, it looks like it's not open still. Oh God. Let me just type in High Score. It should still be in my history. So like, let's see, High Score, Renegade Soundplay. All right. Yep. I'm just gonna link their website. Oh, it's the first thing you see on their website. So let me just link that in the chat real quick. Chat, where did you go? Here you go. Yeah, you're welcome. And it's like pretty cheap. It was like $50 something maybe, which I mean, I don't know if that's like cheap for a regular plugin because I've only ever bought in huge bundles at once. But it's a good price. The only other things I've seen, we are literally vibing like it's a vibraphone. The only other plugins I've seen that are like cheaper than like the huge bundles that cost like $1,000 each, because I'm chaotic, are you know, like the ones like the Native Instruments ones, like typically regional ones, like the Cuba sound one I know was like 100 and something. The India sound one was like also 100. I think all of their regional ones were like 100 or so. They're really good though. I definitely want to, I want to increase my library more to create more music, but it's like I literally need to like at least start to use them regularly before I spend more money on them. Let's see. Color regions by track. Aha. Add the what's happening? No, let's not do that. All right. You already know. You already know. You already know it's the lick. What are the chords under this ball? I'm gonna work on like a little solo for that section. I feel like I'm gonna waste too much time working on that. I'm gonna end the stream soon because I kind of have to pee. And it's getting late. Let's do some trumpet stabs. I might record real horns on this. I'm not sure. Cool thing about writing music that has this video game aesthetic is using MIDI instruments actually works and adds to the aesthetic. And I know there's like a trumpet fall selection on one of these plugins. There's like a million trumpet plugins. Let's see. It's like I just need the hits too. That's all literally on like you know, the hits. Let's see. Horns. Here we go. I'm blind. Let's go trumpet section. Articulation, fall, because everyone knows that's like the articulation. Yeah, that's all I need. Oh, that is so like N64. Let's do it down the octave. That's so funny. Sax stabs too. Let's see if that's an articulation on, just to add to the, just to get down with the thickness. All right. Oh, that's weird. There's no that's so weird. There's no articulation selection for all the other. Oh, okay. Oh, it's for the sections. That's so funny. All right, well, that'll work. Yeah. I just need to release that sax one before the trumpet one. Thank you so much, Teddy Bear. I was hoping that by the end of this stream, it'd be a somewhat coherent sounding song, and yeah, it sounds pretty good. I'm pretty stoked on it right now. Trumpet section. Is there no trombone section? Okay. Hey, a new follow on Twitch. Thank you. Get some violin on this me. Big thank you. Dun, dun, dun. Let's make this violin 2. Let's make this violin 1. Yeah, we need some. Nice chord. This needs to go up to. Ooh, it can go that high. Nice. All right. Let's try that. Let's make some violas now. So many layers, heck yeah. The layers is where that good comes in. I like to get the, once I have like the melody down, I like to just kind of fill in, you know, some more with what's it called? Things like strings and whole notes and then miscellaneous percussion will be last. After these strings, I'm gonna do that and then I'm gonna end the stream because I actually really have to pee and I'm like in power mode right now. All right. Have the viola up there. So let's move you down there. Let's move you down there. That and we'll put it down there. And we'll copy that. Let's go Is this the plugin I want, or is it? Hold on, I think I want. Let's see. Bongos. Let's try bongos. Ooh. Can I get the effect that I want on this plugin? The velocity is way too hot on this. Let's see if I can. Let's see if there's a velocity curve on the mixer. No. It doesn't look like there is. Is there like a Let's try this. Alright, let's see if I can like do something like might work for now. I don't like it. We'll mess around. We'll mess around with it. Anyway, that's something I'll do off stream because I don't want to sit here for like a million years and figure out how to do a new technique I've never done with MIDI. Totally off topic, but you seem like someone I would have been friends with in high school band. Yeah, probably, maybe. I think that's a compliment. Thank you. Let's just go ahead and copy, yeah. It's time. I don't know if the person who asked about the cowbell earlier is still here, but it's time. Like 2 hours ago, but it's time. That's not the. That's not the. That's not the tone of cowbell that I want, though. Oh, that's why I'm in the wrong plugin. I was wondering. I was like, where's all my cowbell? Well, I need the timbre. Wondering what's the teal turquoise coil cable using your videos. I've been looking for a coiled cable. I bought it literally like directly from Fender. I think I know it's a Fender cable. I just searched coiled cable, but it's from Fender. I'm pretty sure I bought it through Fender. Can you buy stuff through Fender? I don't even remember. I have so much stuff. I don't remember exactly where I even got everything from. But I'm pretty sure I bought it through Fender because I remember looking for that cable for years and then Googling it. And I'm like, wow, Fender literally sells it. I should have thought of that, but I didn't. Has that SNES Genesis sound. Yeah, a big part of that is definitely the plugin I have. That's literal direct samples from those types of games. Shaker. Let's add some shaker to the mix. A little shaker will go a long way. Let's add it on the second chorus. Sample would be so good. I know in this plugin I have, hold on, let me find it. Let me make a clone of this track. After I show you this thing that this plugin can do, it's so random and like not practical, but really cool. Because it can only say certain things. But if you go to this plugin and you go over to is it sound effects? Oh, I really have to pee. Where is it? Let's see. Where is it? Was it on sound effects or is it under random No, where is it? I thought I saw it under sound effects the other day. Oh, no, that's not it. Well, I can't find it. Anyway, if you want to see it, I'll try to find it and do it later on Twitch. On Sundays on Twitch, I play video games, but on Wednesdays, I write music on Twitch. I'm ending this stream now because I really have to use the bathroom. Thanks for everyone who's been being here and watching and hanging out. Thank you so much. I might be progressing this later on Twitch or at some other point on other social media. If so, go ahead and follow there. And thank you to everyone who's been watching the stream. I gotta go use the bathroom.